Hey guys, this is going to be part 2 in the 3-part video on how to solve these special shape modifications of 3x3s. So, let's get to it. The first thing you'll need is a basic knowledge of how to solve a regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube. I do not have one with me, but I'm sure that you know what they look like. The second thing you will need is knowledge of how to fix the centers on said 3x3 cube. Pretend this is a normal cube. How to flip the orientation of those centers. It's the exact same information that you would need to know how to solve this, where you needed to know how to solve the 3x3 and the picture cube, or solving the centers of the 3x3. If you do not know what this is, or you do not know how to solve either of the two cubes I've mentioned, click on the link below. That will take you to this video, from which you can then go to videos on how to solve a 3x3 and how to solve a 3x3 super or picture cube. We're going to learn how to solve this bad boy. As far as it being like a normal 3x3, I do not have a normal 3x3 with me right now to show as a counterexample, because this is pretty simple and it looks very similar to a 3x3. If you're looking at either the top or bottom face, you can even see that it's a 3x3. You just need to rotate it 45 degrees? So, whereas this is the center, these are all edges, and these are corners. It's the exact same vertical and horizontal grid that a 3x3 has. It's just diagonal now. If you're looking at the middle layers, this is a center. And you can tell because you can turn R and L and U and D around it. So this is a center. This is a center. These are edges, and these are edges, and then these are all corners. So that's about it for figuring out how to think of it like a 3x3. So I guess let's just scramble it and get started. Now, this is a scrambled Fisher cube. It looks funky. It looks really funky. It looks kind of scary. I don't really want to solve it. Just kidding. I know how to solve it. So how I start is I either pick the white center or the yellow center to start with. The reason for that is because these look just like normal centers on a 3x3. If you picked any of the other 4 centers, it would look kind of funky. So I start with a white one. Now you solve the cross like normal, except you have to pay attention to the 2 colors that are in each middle layer center. So instead of just looking for orange, well, here's one that has orange, but which one is it? It's the orange and green one, so it needs to go above this one, not above this one. So now it's in the correct spot. Orange and green, orange and green. This is flipped. Now, you can pay attention to the flippage of the middle layer centers. I do not. I know some people do when they solve picture and super cubes, and so would when they solve this, but I don't tend to, because I feel like it would take much longer to pay attention to trying to make sure that, oh, well, let me turn this one and then flip it up the correct way so that I can turn it back and line it up. And that's pretty easy when you've only got one. When I'm trying to reconcile the other two, I've got to, okay, when I turn this one down to flip it up, it's going to have orange on top, so I have to do that. That just takes much longer to do, and I don't think it's worth it because I always feel like I'm going to mess it up later in the cube. So I just solve the cube ignoring the flippage of the centers and then fix it at the end. You can do whatever you'd like. So proceed like normal, solving the cross. Now, I have the cross solved. It's a cross, blue and orange, green and orange, green and red, blue and red, even though there's flippage. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Now, for the corners are these little pieces right here, where it's got a flat rectangle on one side and then a triangle on the other. So you just match up the 2 colors that it shares. In this case, it's clear to see that all of the colors, it should be clear to see which colors match up, because if these are oriented properly, there's always going to be, red and red. This one couldn't be flipped so that it would be red here and blue here, because this would be upside down and that can't happen. So you just put it in the corner that's in between the edges that share that color. So this orange one needs to go over here in between the blue and orange and the green and orange. Ta-da! Solve the other 4 first layer edges or corners just like that. Now, when you've got the first layer solved, hooray, you move on to the middle layer edges like normal. Now, the one thing that is different is that orientation does not matter. For example, let me put the red one in place right now. That red one is in the right spot. It's in between the red and the red. But if I were to pop it out and flip it, it would look right too. There's just no way to tell if it is in the correct orientation. Now, it's not as much that the orientation does not matter, because having these oriented incorrectly can mess you up when you get to the last layer. But there's no way to tell now. So just solve them like normal, ignoring the flip. So this one's already on the right side, so I'm going to flip it in from the right. And solve all the others like that without worrying about the orientation of them. And then when we get to the last layer, we will fix any possible parity problems we got from the orientation. Okay, so I've got the first two layers solved except for those flip centers. Now, I don't know if it's technically called parity, but it's some weird situation that I'm in because these are flipped incorrectly that you can't really get in on a 3x3. What? On a 3x3, when you're solving the fake cross using the beginner's method, you can either have the dot, the little L, the line, or the real fake cross. There's no little three-pointed star thing. So to fix this, you just flip one. It doesn't matter which one. Right now, you have an odd number of incorrect pieces in the center. You could have one that's incorrect, or you could have three that are incorrect, because two of them would cancel each other out. So just flip one. If you flip one that is incorrect, you will fix it, thereby turning it into an even number of correct ones, either 0 or 2, and it won't be a problem. If you flip one that's already correct, you'll turn it into an even number of incorrect ones, be it from 1 to 2 or from 3 to 4. So either way, it doesn't matter. It will fix this. So how to flip it is just to pull it out. So I'm going to work on the green one. So I'm going to pull it out holding the green on the left. So I'm going to, basically what I'm going to be doing is putting this piece down here, and it's the exact same process as if you've got a middle layer edge in the correct spot but flipped when you're solving the cube like normal. Just going to swing it around twice actually, and put it in from, or I'm just going to swing it around twice and put it in again using the same algorithm. If you use the right one, use the right one. If you use the left one, use the left one. And it puts it in the correct spot, and no more parity. Solve the fake cross like normal. And then basically just solve the whole top layer like normal. You're going to solve the fake cross. You're going to place the corners correctly. And then you're going to orient the corners correctly. And that should leave you with an almost solved Fisher cube. Now, you will have messed up centers though. Again, in case you haven't watched the UFO cube video for some reason, or any supercube video, which you should have if you're watching this, you can either have edges flipped 180 degrees, 2 full rotations, or 2 quarter rotations, or you can have edges flipped 90 degrees. In this case, this one is flipped 90, and this one is flipped 180. But wait! You can't usually have just one flipped 90 degrees. What's going on? The answer is that I don't have one flipped 90 degrees. One of these two is also flipped 90 degrees. But it doesn't matter because these faces operate just like a normal Rubik's Cube, so it doesn't matter. So what you do is, first I'm going to fix this one using the algorithm that flips it 180 degrees. And then I'm going to flip this one 90 degrees and one of these two 90 degrees. Now, I don't know how good you are with picture cubes, but the algorithm that I use at least, and that MonkeyDude1313 teaches in the video that I link to, is that it flips the top one 90 degrees counterclockwise and the right one 90 degrees clockwise. This one needs to be rotated clockwise, so I will have it on the right, and I will flip this one 90 degrees counterclockwise, and it won't matter. So that's that. You solved the picture cube. If you watched my last video, which you should, you can solve the UFO cube, and next we're going to talk about the axis cube. Ooh. Ooh. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.